Following Senator Osgood's not easy. But yeah, I'll tell you, I've been involved with the NDPA for over 20 years, been on the advisory board, and we've made a lot of progress on different issues over the years. But unfortunately, have represented over 100 families that have lost children as a trial lawyer, which really is something to sit here and say, which is unbelievable. Should never happen. I hear Gunner's story, and I think of so many families that I represent that went through the same thing, where the child was not at the pool. That is not the issue. We've heard the statistics. Over 70% of children drown or nearly drown when they are not expected to be at the pool. I look at Abby's Hope, and I think of Abby. And I use that example of suction entrapment, which unfortunately I used to have a number of suction entrapment cases until Virginia Graham Baker happened. We had to lose a beautiful young girl in the state of Virginia that happened to be the granddaughter of a Secretary of State, or we would have never passed that bill. Never passed that bill. But that bill should give us hope, because what we did, what this organization did, what all those families did is they did not give up, and they basically eliminated suction entrapment. Something that I had to go through several trials knowing what was wrong, having seen the evidence, going to different organizations, knowing that these families, I know what happened to your child, and then finally we were able to do that. Through, by the way, some congresswoman from Broward County has nothing to do with Virginia and had nothing to do with Secretary of State James Baker or the president at the time, George W. Bush. So when we talk about this is a nonpartisan issue, there could be nothing more true than that. But what I will tell you is that there's two existential threats that are happening right now that I'd like to tell everybody about. One is the danger of drowning in retention ponds and canals and natural bodies of water. We've talked about barriers. We've talked about fences. We can look at the CPSC, CDC, Red Cross. I can give you every acronym I can think of that all talks about how barriers and fences work. Well, there is no duty to put a barrier around a retention pond in the state of Florida. Even though we know if we stood right in between this barrier, this body of water and this pool, we know drowning is the same. We're building a million apartments in the state of Florida. In 2023, the legislature authorized $1 billion for our affordable housing crisis. Anybody want to venture how many of those apartments are going to be built on canals, on retention ponds that don't have to be fenced at all? We have a huge problem coming. We also have an issue that's going on right now when we talk about this spike in drownings, that a number of these child drownings are happening at. It's when children come from other places to our beautiful state and they want to rent a house that has a beautiful pool. It's called short-term rentals. Right now in the United States, Airbnb and VRBO have more rooms than the entire hotel and motel industry combined. Anybody want to raise their hand and say what regulations those pools are under? None. None. It is a huge issue. I have 5 child drowning cases in my office that happened in Airbnbs. 4 of them the first night the family got there. Within hours, because they didn't have alarms, they didn't have fences. This is a huge issue. Both of these, we are going to see these numbers, and I hate to tell you this, spike if we don't do something about the regulation with short-term rentals and with retention ponds. So we have to work together. We've got 2 great legislative leaders here to work with. We've got friends in Congress. This is a huge issue we all need to work on together as we go forward. And thank you to this organization and all its affiliated members for all you do. Thank you very much.